It's not on.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity granted me to comment on the statement made by the Finance Minister on the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to the Minister and she referred to the Finance Committee. We'll wait until then. But before then, I wish to make these preliminary comments. Listening to the Finance Minister, it is important that we agree that Ghana, where we have gotten to, need to accumulate enough reserves to anchor our currency and protect safeguards for the economy. Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister has stated that this is the first time Ghana is having such a bold policy. I wish to differ in opinion that this whole policy hinges on gold, and it is important that we stress that the policy to accumulate gold to shore up our currency and provide other benefits to the economy is not the first time we are having such a policy. In fact, as the Minister is aware, somewhere in 2021-2022, the Bank of Ghana embarked on the Domestic Gold Purchase Program and the Gold for Reserves Program under the leadership of the former Vice President, Dr. Bawumia. It is this policy that has anchored our currency till today. It is important that today this government has realized the need to increase our gold reserves and therefore is coming to Parliament with this policy. This is how we should govern. And Mr. Speaker, I wish to state that I would have loved that when it came to the point of having cocoa haircuts for cocoa farmers, the same policy should have come to Parliament for us to debate on, as the Minister is doing today. Mr. Speaker, it is an undeniable fact that Ghana holds a strategic position in gold production in the world and Africa. Despite this, the level of Ghana's gold holdings is quite anemic relative to the Total Holdings Institute. And therefore, it is important that as a country, we make steps to accumulate more gold. Mr. Speaker, if this is the position of government, and rightly so as presented by the Finance Minister, I begs the question why this government decided to sell portions of the gold that they inherited as accumulated for this country. Mr. Speaker, before the assumption of this government, we had increased Ghana's gold reserves from 8 tons to 32 tons, and the government came to increase it to 38 tons. But today, as we speak, half of our gold reserves has been sold by this government. If the policy intention of government is to accumulate more gold to support the economy, why did the government decide to sell gold that was already existing before they came into power? I heard the argument that we needed to sell that gold because we needed liquidity in forex. Yes, it is important that foreign exchange provides liquidity for the economy, but gold reserves also provides monetary solidity and market confidence. We need both as a country in order to thrive in the globally changing economic system. And that is why we from the minority side, we support any attempt by government to shore up our currency, to shore up our economy with gold reserves. But Mr. Speaker, it is important. What is missing from the minister's presentation is the lack of clarity as to whether or not we are moving 100% to gold reserves, or we are moving 100% to foreign exchange reserves, or we are having a balancing mix. It is important that we manage our gold accumulation within a certain composition mix ratio, such that we have enough foreign exchange in terms of fiat money for liquidity and also have gold. It is not clear from the minister's policy presentation whether or not we are moving straightly to 100% accumulation of gold or 100% accumulation of FS reserves, or we are having a balancing of the two. Gold reserves is not the same as foreign exchange reserves, although gold reserves can be liquidated to get foreign exchange. So we need to have clarity on that. It is also important to know from the minister's presentation, and that is lacking, how we are going to finance the purchases of this gold. Gold Board came into being by changing the name from PMC to Gold Board with an act. The minister had told this parliament the government of Ghana was going to finance Gold Board. We never saw any action in that regard, although there were budgetary provisions for that. The minister never acted on that, only to realize that the Bank of Ghana was rather pumping money to support Gold Board. But Mr. Speaker, the minister talks about the achievement that has been made in the foreign exchange market by way of the stability of the cedi. That is fantastic. But it is important for the minister to note that it does not make economic sense to pump over $10 billion in cedi foreign exchange intervention and only reduce the rate from 14 to about 11 to 12, when in the past, under the previous government, the rate was reduced from 16 to 14 without a $10 billion intervention in the economy.
Honorable Member, your time is up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. You've done very well with your comments. We'll move on to the other side and we'll listen to Honorable Isaac Adungo. Please.